blockers on so that I make sure I sleep well tonight since it's 9 p.m. for me. So what we are going to get into, my loves, tonight is a topic I'm really excited to get into, which I have all of my notes on this here for you, is exceptional communication. How to set yourself apart from everybody else in the online dating world. So, how do you set yourself apart in the online dating world from everybody else? And we're going to get into that tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about when you're texting someone online or when you're texting someone after you have already met them. So, we're going to get into that. But not only that, what about the entire concept of ghosting? I want to talk about ghosting. And then I want to talk about self-love and self-acceptance because that's really where all of this stems from. For you to be an exceptional communicator in the online world or dating in general, well, then that means that you love yourself, that you accept yourself enough in that you understand who you are and what you desire, and you have no problem speaking up about it. So, to master the art of exceptional communication, which is going to have you stand out from everybody else who is just being agreeable or a pushover, who's ghosting, who isn't clear in what they want, and so they're being led on, passive aggressive, like all of these low caliber tendencies that are unfortunately really prevalent in the dating and online dating world nowadays. What needs to happen is you become that person. Just like we talked about in part one, you become the high caliber individual. And so when it comes to self-love and self-acceptance, I do have an entire course on this called Love. And that course includes another course called Boundaries. Boundaries goes incredibly deep into speaking up about who you are and what it is that you desire and teaching other people how to treat you. It's an incredibly powerful course. And then Love itself is a 9-module, 9-week journey into truly loving who you are. Because you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. So who are you being? That's law of attraction principles right there for you. And so there's an entire course on that. I'll drop the link down below when I'm done with this live stream. But for now, the one thing I do want to say that when it comes to being an exceptional communicator, that it stems from you just knowing you. You know who you are, you know what it is that you want, which means you're not afraid to speak it. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. If we get into the second thing that I wanted to say, I think I have seven different topics we're going to go into tonight. And the last one, different ways to stand out in the inbox, I think is really awesome, and you're absolutely going to love it. I created an entire compliment guide, how to send high quality text or messages in the inbox that help you to stand out. So I pulled some of that from there. So second up, of course, when it comes to exceptional communication, as I just said, you've got to know what it is that you desire, what it is that you're looking for, and being open and honest with that. And with most dating apps, you actually get to say, are you looking for friends with benefits? Are you looking for something serious? Are you looking for friends? Whatever it is. So that's good. If the app doesn't have that and you just want to have some clarity, then speak up around it. But you have to get clear first. And one of the women in the group coaching program, Magnetize, she's like, Emerald, I eventually want a long-term relationship. I want marriage. She's like, well, right now, I don't know if I want that. I'm just having fun, dating casually. I'm building my coaching business. I don't know if I want that right now. She's like, how do I say that? Like, you say exactly that. You say, I am absolutely the woman or man looking for marriage and looking for a long-term partnership. Right now, though, in my life, I am really focused on my career, so right now I'm looking to casually date. If I meet the person that is absolutely the person I want to spend the rest of my life with while I'm casually dating, then yeah, I'm going to figure out how to make space for that person because I do want that. And so it's as simple as that, as being incredibly clear. Let's say a man wants to have sex you want to have sex? Or do you reserve having sex for someone that you're in a committed monogamous relationship with, or someone you at least see going in that direction? Being able to speak up about that. So you can see how this ties into the self-love, the self-confidence, the boundaries piece. But before anybody else can meet you where you're at, you need to get clear on where you're at, and then you need to be the woman or man speaking up about that. So, do you want friends? Do you want friends with benefits? Are you just casually dating? Are you looking for the love of your life? You're ready to settle down, get married, and have kids in the next 2 years? I have a past client. She is settled down, married with a baby, and her first 4 dates with a guy, she said it. She's like, look, I want to get married and have children, and I want to do that soon. I'm not going to compromise and do it with the wrong man, but that's the trajectory I'm on. So if you do not want to have kids, if you do not want to get married and you don't see yourself doing that, or you do but you don't see it in the next couple of years, then we're not going to be a fit. Because maybe he does want to settle down and get married and have kids, but in his mind it's in 5 or 10 years. Let's say he's 25 years old. So you have to get clear and speak up. And I know in part 1 I told you date for friends, and that's because energetically I don't want you to have all this pressure around, like, you have to be my person or else. So the friends can release some of that pressure. But now I'm contradicting myself a little bit and saying, if you really do know that what you're looking for is the marriage and the kids, and you're ready for that sooner rather than later, then yes, you need to express that. But you can't come at it with the needy energy, because that will repel men, that will repel the universe from what it is that you actually desire. And so there does have to be a sense of unattachment from your desires, and it's one of the paradoxes of manifestation. I have an entire course on manifestation, and that's one of the paradoxes we work through. How do you get what you want but be unattached to it? Pain in the butt, I know. We're not getting into that tonight. But it is important that you, with yourself, are truly honest in what you desire. If you really do desire a partnership, then don't put up with friends with benefits. Don't put up with men who aren't treating you well, that are just calling you at the last minute for a date. Be in your integrity and say, you know what, no, I want more than that. So don't put up with that. But you have to be the one who's clear in that first. So then point number 3 for this evening. So once you're clear on what you want, you have to energetically, can that be heard at all? Hold on, let me put my earbuds in. Like this whole time? Do we have to start over? Okay, before I continue, it's in and out. Well, crap. Okay, how is this better then? Is this better? I wish you would have told me. That's lame. Okay, it's better? Good. Thanks for letting me know. All right, so I will just do a quick little recap summary. So the first part, self-love, self-acceptance. You've got to know who it is that you are. You've got to love yourself. You've got to be able to speak up about what it is that you want to be an exceptional communicator, which is a certain level of self-love and self-acceptance. So that was the first point. Second point, what do you desire, right? Do you want friends with benefits? Do you want casual dating? Do you want a long-term relationship? Whatever it is, you need to be clear in what it is that you want with yourself first, before you could ever expect to communicate that to another human being. And then you need to be the one in integrity to not settle for anything less than that. So to not settle with dates with men that you know aren't really a fit, and you know you want a long-term relationship, but you don't want to be alone on a Friday night. No, you're better off being alone, making yourself happy, than settling for someone who's not a fit with what it is that you really desire. And then so speaking of which, point number 3 being that you've got to block and delete matches that are not a fit. Clean it up energetically. Stop dating the men that aren't a fit for what you want. Stop entertaining and talking and texting with the men that you know aren't a fit for what you want. So create that space energetically. Otherwise, it will cloud your energy and distract you from what it is that you want. And then you're sending mixed messages to the universe. Because if you're saying yes to something you don't want, by allowing it in your energetic field and entertaining it and talking to it, then you're saying yes to what you don't want. It's as simple as that. So you can date to meet people, to make friends, to have an amazing time, while also being incredibly clear that you want a long-term relationship. You can date for friends, not F-boys, not men that are leading you on, not men that want to be with you romantically, but you don't want to be with them romantically, but you don't tell them that, so you lead them on. It's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying you can date for friends to relieve some of the pressure and expectation for everybody involved, while also being incredibly clear on what you want. And the majority, no, all of my clients, they want a relationship. That's why we're working together, so I can help them manifest a relationship. So you say that, but you're clear, like, hey, I'm not looking to get married tomorrow. I'm not saying it has to be you even, but this is what I want. And so you can say, look, I love meeting new people, having great people in my life. And I would like to have a long-term relationship, a healthy relationship, marriage. I don't know if it's going to be with you. Let's just get to know each other first and see how it goes. Men want to feel free. They don't want to feel pressured. They don't want to feel like a relationship is going to take away from their life. They want to feel like a relationship is going to add freedom to their life. So if straight out the gate, you're all this pressure, I'm looking for my person, most men are going to run. It has to be that unattached energy. So block and delete matches that aren't a fit. Remove them from your inbox, from your text messaging, from your life. It's just getting in the way and clouding your energy of what it is you really want. 4, the F-boys or the men who are moving faster than you're ready for. So there's a couple ways that we can respond to these types of texts. So the F-boys, let's say a man just slides into your DMs like, hey, wanna fuck? I've had that happen before. I just delete that. I block that. I don't even respond to that. However, if I had been talking to him, like we've been going back and forth, then I might respond. Then I might say something cheeky like, yeah, right, buddy, in your dreams. Or I think you are mistaking me for someone that you've been on more dates with. If I like the guy and maybe he's just moving a little bit too fast for me, then I'll say that. There was a guy I liked who invited me back to his place. I was like, no, thank you. And he asked why. I was like, honestly, it takes me longer than just a date to open up my body physically to a man. He's like, okay. He didn't take offense. He didn't keep trying. He asked me out again. And so once again, you being really clear in your boundaries and what you want, and it depends on the situation. Now, when it comes to the F-boys sliding into your DMs that you haven't ever even met, and I've had this conversation with clients before, in this case, this is when it is helpful to get clear and to be blocking and rejecting that energy from your life. Where are you putting all the emphasis on the physical? Where do you potentially have belief systems around men only want one thing? Where are you potentially being too flirty? What is up with the volume? Hold on. All right, how about now with the volume? La 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 la. Is the volume any better? Because I don't know, I can always turn off the live and go live again, and this time do it on my computer rather than my phone. So Desiree, let me know if this is any better. Otherwise, we will switch it onto my computer, because we had no problem with that the other day on my computer when we went live. And
I want to make sure you get all of this. So before I continue on with the content, if we have to switch to YouTube, I will happily switch or onto my computer. Do we have any confirmation as far as the volume being any better? La 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 la. Testing. Because I have it on. Let's see. Oh, computers. What do we think? Is the volume any better? I'm not seeing any comment replies, but I do see that you're still here. So, what do we got, loves? All right. I'm just going to assume that it's okay now because I'm not seeing any comments. Is it out? That's better. The volume cannot be heard before, but is it better now? All right. I'm going to assume it's better now. And that was an old comment that popped up. So there's different ways of texting or communicating based on the situation that makes you a high caliber woman and a classy woman. But you've got to know what it is that you want and what it is that you are available for. Now, if it's someone that you do like and he is maybe just moving things along a little bit too fast, like I said with that one guy who asked me back to his place after the first date, and I was like, no thanks, I don't do that. That doesn't work for me. I said it in a way of like, these are my boundaries, not, ew, gross, screw you, I can't believe you'd ask me that, but more of just like, this is what works for me. Or if I've had a guy before ask me to send him some sexy pics and you can respond with something cheeky of like, I'm sorry, handsome, you must have me confused with someone that you've already slept with. I don't send sexy pics to men that I'm not dating exclusively. But you throw in that handsome bit, you throw in an emoji, you make it funny if you still want to see him again. So you're not fully rejecting him, you're just setting your standards and setting your boundaries of what it is that you are available for or not available for. So is the sound still good? Are we still good here with the sound, my loves? Now, let's get into number 5, ghosting. But someone please do give me a thumbs up. This is the first time I've done live on my mobile, so there's that. Whereas the other day it was live on my computer. So ghosting. What I want to say about ghosting. Unacceptable at any time except for the F-boys that slide into your DMs straight out of the gate. In which case, completely acceptable, ghost, delete, unblock, get rid of them out of your life. Energetically, you say no to that. So for the woman who's getting too many of those types of messages, then what I think you need to do, what's happening is you need to energetically block. So you're like, nope, 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 nope. Okay, thank you, Veronica. You're just telling the universe, you're like, I'm unavailable for that. But you don't make up a story about it. That's what gets so many women caught in a tizzy is they make up a story. See, all men are like this. Online dating is like this. That will prevent you energetically from attracting in great men because you get what you focus upon. If you didn't watch part 1 where I asked you to look at everything green in the room, make sure you watch part 1. It really solidifies this example. So if all these men are asking for sex and you make a big deal out of it and you make a story out of it, you'll get more of that. Whereas the 3 men ever in my life and online dating that offered up sex, I laughed it off. I was like, ha, 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 whatever. Yeah, right. Block. don't make it a big deal. But when you make it a big deal and you focus on it and you talk about it, you attract more of that into your energetic field. That's law of attraction. So just let it go. Like, whatever. You're obviously not my guy. One guy is like, I don't need to use online dating to get sex. You're funny. Bye. Unmatch. So just don't make it any big deal. Now, ghosting, not allowed at any time. I wouldn't even call that ghosting. If an F-boy slide into your DMs, block, delete, goodbye. Ghosting, clear, honest communication. You need to teach other people how to treat you. Which means if you ghost, you will in some way be ghosted. It's just what goes around comes around. Call it karma, call it what you will, but you're teaching the world how to treat you. So if you're too scared to let someone know, that was such a great date. Thank you so much. I don't see a romantic connection. Good luck on your journey. If you're too scared to have that level of honesty, there is no way that you will ever attract in a high caliber match who can be that honest with you. So this is your opportunity, even with men you're texting that you haven't even met yet, to say, you know what? I've enjoyed chatting with you. This doesn't seem like a fit. Good luck on your journey. Unmatch, delete, close the loop energetically. We're going through this in Magnetize, my group coaching program. Close the loop. In my manifestation course, commitment is the fifth step of manifestation. And thank you, ladies. I see your text now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, cool. Veronica, welcome back. Yay! I'm still learning YouTube Live. I'll be honest with you. I'm still learning it. But I've had so many new people subscribe because of the John Gray interview. I was like, well, I want to do some stuff on my YouTube Live for all of you. Instead of just the Instagram, instead of just the podcast and just the Facebooks. Oh my God, one more channel, right? Anywho. And so when it comes to the ghosting, we have to be the ones, you have to be the ones to set the example. And I would love it because ghosting, it's like a huge thing now. People are not in their integrity. Everything's virtual. It's so much easier to just ignore, delete, block, unmatch, to be a complete troll on the internet. But we're human beings here. And so part of my passion and mission is communication. Being so honest with yourself and others. Be an awesome human being by closing the loop and saying, you know what, I don't see this as a fit. Good luck. Unmatch. You're talking with them. You have a date set up. Doesn't seem like it's going to be a fit. Rather than making an excuse or ghosting them or lying, text them. I realize this is last minute and I'm so sorry, but I really don't feel like this is a fit. Good luck. Goodbye. Right? You went out on a date with them. End of the date or after the date over text. Thank you so much. It was such a great time. I'm not feeling the romantic spark. Good luck on your journey. Or what about vice versa? I'll tell you a very vulnerable story. I had a first date once with a man. He flew down to Ecuador to meet me. This was our first date. I was in Ecuador for 3 months at that time. And mind you, we had done this. We'd done FaceTime, we'd done videos, voice chats. Like, we had gotten to know each other. It wasn't like our first time meeting, but it was our first time meeting in person. And so we spent all day together. And if I'm honest with you, like, there wasn't really that sexual chemistry. There was a friendship. I mean, obviously we'd known each other virtually, but in person, the sexual chemistry wasn't there. And so at the end of the night, when we went back to the Airbnb, he sat me down on the couch, and this was amazing, but this is very vulnerable. And he's like, Emerald, I want to talk about our connection. I was like, okay. He's like, I've got to be honest with you. He's like, you're such an exceptional human being. I'm so glad I'm here to meet you in person, but I'm not feeling the romantic spark. And here's the thing. I wasn't feeling the romantic spark either, but my truth in that moment was, well, I actually wanted kind of the opposite, which is I wanted to have sex to see if we have that chemistry. And his reply was again very honest, which was, Emerald, I've done that before. Didn't work out. Never ends well. I was like, okay. I'm like, so what do we do now? And he's like, we continue being friends. We continue the rest of our week together in Ecuador like we planned. And we did. We continued being friends. We continued the rest of our week together in Ecuador. And to this day, almost 2 years later, he's still one of my best friends on the entire planet. Because we both had the courage to show up with honest, open communication. Whereas if we had, let's say, slept together and he wasn't attracted to me and I wasn't attracted to him, but then oxytocin kicked in and then I fell in love and then he still wasn't attracted, well, that probably wouldn't have ended well. So open, honest communication at every level is only going to serve you and show other people what's possible, which is you can be an exceptional human being. I have a heart, I have feelings. Every person that you've interacted with has a heart and has feelings and has most likely been hurt or ghosted or heartbroken in the past. And so ghosting is not allowed, ever. Be over communicative. If you've texted with someone for a while and you're starting to not feel it, rather than just let it fizzle, say, you know what? I'm going to close this loop. Or, hey, I just wanted you to know I'm dating someone awesome. I'm not going to be continuing this conversation. I've said stuff like that before. Like, hey, just wanted you to know, like, let's say an ex reaches out, like, I've started dating someone that I see potential with, therefore I'm not going to be communicating with you anymore, or any exes or whatever. It can't be in a sexual way. So just be honest and speak up about that, and it will be reflected back to you in the caliber of humans that you're dating, because like attracts like. And I've shared this before because I'm sharing now all of my online dating journeys because I don't have too much experience with online dating, which is a good thing because I don't have years of all this negative energy and belief systems around online dating, which is why in part 1, when I talk about the energy that you're in when you show up to the party is so important. My energy is just like, who wants to have fun? I'm ready to meet some awesome humans. And as a love coach who's been doing this for 6 years, I have incredibly high expectations around the people I date, and I have an incredibly high opinion of myself. Which means every single date that I have been on has been exceptional. Every man has been incredible in his own way. And he's been so many of the characteristics I'm looking for or attracted to: smart, sexy, intelligent, successful, worldly, speaks multiple languages, spiritual, meditates, take care of his body, on and on and on and on and on. Now, I'm not saying that all of them are a fit for the long term, but what I'm saying is I'm meeting exceptional human beings because 1, I believe exceptional human beings exist everywhere, including online. 2, I've done the self-love work to know that I deserve to have what I want. And 3, my energy when I show up in the party. I'm unattached, but I'm also excited to be there. Like, cool, let's see who I'm going to meet tonight. And then when I go out on the date, I'm in that same energy of unattached to the outcome of you're an incredible human being already. Let's see where this goes. And oh yeah, I'm going to be honest and communicative about who I am and what I want. Because I don't need to prove myself to you. This is who I am. This is what I want. It's a fit or it's not. It's not great. It is great. So no more ghosting. Not allowed at all. One thing I wanted to say to put in my notes here. So one of the women in the group coaching program, Magnetize, Patricia, she's been going out on a lot of online dates, which is great. And some of the men that she's been texting with, she realized before the first date it wasn't a fit. And so she's like, Emerald, how do I let them down? Is it better to just go out on the date and then see how it goes? I'm like, what's your intuition saying? She's like, my intuition is saying no. I was like, okay, then don't go out on the date. And every woman is different. Like there are some women that I will coach them. I'm like, no, that's you being afraid. That's you running away. That's your protective mechanisms kicking in. You're going out on the date. So every woman is different. So take this with a grain of salt, okay? But in this example, She let down 2 or 3 guys before the date and just like, you know what, I'm sorry, this doesn't feel like it's going to be a fit. I don't want to waste your time or mine. Good luck. And she said it very kind, direct, and to the point. 2 out of the 3 men never responded to her text. She saw that, read receipts. She see they had read it and seen it. I was like, this is amazing, Patricia. You just proved your intuition was correct. Because if they don't have the integrity, the respect to even respond to your text, then I promise you, they are not an exceptional, high quality human being. So if you're not feeling it before a date and the person doesn't even respond, well, then you've just weeded out someone that was really not worth your time. So that's a good thing. So the more you can speak up and communicate, the more it's actually going to help you because you're going to gauge where they're at. Just like the conversation I had with that guy who flew down to Ecuador to meet me, like a really high level of communication and connection there. And still to this day, one of my best friends. Because we both communicate at such a high level and we have, of course, all these other things in common, right? Because we got to know each other and realize, but you can't, there's no replacement for the in-person connection. And that is one thing I wanted to say. So point number 6 of our 7 points tonight is get to know them first. Take your time. Like, what's the rush? So many women and men get burnt out from dating because they're setting up so many dates in the week. How can you really know who someone is? If it's like, hey, you're cute. How's it going? What do you like? Want to do dinner? So take your time to get to know them. Get to know them over the app, then get to know them off the app texting, then voice texting, maybe even have some video chats or like send a 1-minute video message. Like that's going to make you stand out. Like you send him a little video message, then he can see who you are. And this is also a great way to screen someone. Are they who they say they are in their profile, right? You won't get catfished. You can kind of read their energy, their personality, see their background, their house, their car, their neighborhood. I think these are all exceptional ways to communicate to someone. And vice versa. Is that person willing to meet you there? So it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to step up in that way. I find that incredibly successful with my clients. But one thing I do want to say is there's no replacement for in-person. So the same example I gave with this guy, like we were on the phone every night for hours. We were video chatting, so we knew what each other looked like. We knew the other person was physically attractive to us, but there's no replacement for in-person physical chemistry. So while I think it's really important that you take your time to get to know someone, because someone who is seriously looking for a relationship is not in a rush, someone who is high caliber and has their own life and their friend group also not in a rush, and doesn't actually have a lot of free time either, right? To just be filling their schedule with dates. And a high caliber individual that's attractive to the opposite sex has a lot to bring to the table, which means they have a social life, they have passions, they have a career, they have interests. And so there's no replacement for someone in person. Of course not. But take your time getting to know someone first so that you don't waste your time going out on dates with people that are not in alignment and getting burnt out and creating all of these stories around online dating. I have a client that's like, online dating doesn't work. There's no good men online. I've met all of them and none of them are good. I was like, well, how much time are you spending online dating? She's like 3 hours a night. I was like, holy shit, like that's exhausting. Yeah, you probably have met everyone, but not in the right energy of just swipe, 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 swipe. So take your time and form some authentic connections and conversations, which leads me to the last point for this evening, is a couple different ways that you could stand out in the inbox for online dating or in his inbox for texting. Different ways that you could stand out. So one thing I want to say is that masculine, feminine energy, not necessarily the same online. Typically, I advise my women, because they're feminine energy creatures, let the man do the pursuing in real life. Online dating, because men are the majority of the ones sending the texts and the messages, that if you're the one that sends him a text, you're instantly going to stand out. He's like, whoa. right? And I get it. Women are scared of rejection just like men are, but you don't even know the guy. You've never even chatted. You send him a text. Does he respond? Great. Not great. Who cares? In real life, however, yeah, let him pursue you. Let him plan the date. So, this is stuff we go into deeper in my group coaching and my private coaching because it's very personalized to every situation. But what I at least wanted to say tonight are different ways that you could at least stand out or grab his attention from other people that he might be communicating with, rather than just like, what do you do? Where are you from? How is your day? Blah, de blah, de blah. This stuff's all boring. And I actually have an entire script, high quality text, to grab his attention and set you apart from other women he might be texting or talking to. That's going to be a bonus for my upcoming training, The Irresistible Woman. And I'll probably also just offer that PDF on its own as well when I'm done with it. That will be done in the next week. So keep your eyes open for that. So different ways that you could stand out. First one, mystery. Oh my God. Everyone loves a good mystery text. Like, you won't believe what just happened. Oh my God. I can't wait to tell you this. Guess what I'm doing? Now, I realize these might not be the opener text of when you're like first talking to someone. It might be that you have to establish a little bit of rapport first before you come right out of the gate with the mystery text. But whenever I've known someone or started dating someone, they always want to respond to that text. It grabs their interest. They're like, oh my God, what's happening? What's going on? Tell me. I need to know. So rather than just launching straight into the like, this just happened, create a little mystery first. Oh my God, you'll never guess what just happened. I remember once I had a guy, we were on a date. I was like, look, because it wasn't our first date. I was like, I haven't been entirely honest with you. And so I want to share something with you. But how about we play a little game called 20 Guesses, and I'll give you 20 guesses to guess what it is. And we were on like, it wasn't a dinner date, it was an outside date, a walk in the park type of a date. And so it added so much fun to the date. He got to know me really well. So it created that mystery. So rather than just like, hey, I want to tell you something, why not, you'll never guess what happened, but I'll give you 20 guesses, right? Like add a little fun, add a little mystery, add a little intrigue. So think about some ways that you could maybe add some mystery into it. Or flip it around, ask him a question. So what's the best thing that happened today? Or, well, tomorrow's Thanksgiving in the US, 3 people you're thankful for and why, right? Asking unique questions that makes him think, but also you get to know him a little bit. I had a guy in my inbox say, what's a flexitarian? Because on my profile it says flexitarian. Oh, he's read my profile. Oh, he's interested in learning more. Well, it goes vice versa, women to men. And a lot of men are, this should be obvious, they're swiping based on looks. So if they're actually reading my profile, that piques my interest. But then vice versa, you show up in his inbox, you ask him a question about his profile. It shows you're interested. You've done more than just swipe based on a pretty face. And so how I always advise my clients, like generally if a man is more serious, he's going to have more information in his profile. If he's not, it's probably just going to be a photo, a pretty minimal. Now, mind you, we can't say this for 100% of the people, but in general, they actually have photos and a description and stuff about them, then they're much more serious than a man who just has a couple pictures. Favorite country he's been to, if he's a traveler or if he's got pictures of traveling in his profile, book that made the most impact on his life, if he likes to read, right? And so this shows interest, shows that you're more caliber, shows that you're intelligent, that you're looking for more conversation, because men have their stereotypes of like, oh, a woman just wants me for my pocketbook to just take her out to dinner somewhere nice or somewhere fancy. And this is showing that you actually have more interest in him than just that. Another one for my ladies, ask for help, ask for support, ask for his opinion. So when I first moved here to Tbilisi, Georgia, I had a penthouse. It was an Airbnb with my mom, rented for the first month. I wanted to have a nice place for the two of us, a 2-bedroom, gorgeous, near my brother, etc. So I had a nice place. Now, but then I needed a place after the first month. So I was searching online, different neighborhoods. And so at the same time as I'm doing online dating, guess what I'm doing? I'm asking these men for help, for support. What do you think of the different neighborhoods? I'm looking for a new house. What do you like about this? What do you like about that? And they're all just like so chomping at the bit to help me, to support me, to offer their opinions. Because the masculine energy truly does want to support. And one of the things that we get wrong as independent women is no thank you, I can do it all by myself. That is not complimentary for a lifelong partnership. If you're not even willing to accept support from your partner. I have an entire course on this. It's called Flirt. I'm going to tell you more about it on Friday, actually, because I have an entire bundle called the Magnetic Femme Bundle, which is incredibly powerful to help you become confident, flirtatious in your feminine energy, and magnetize the type of love relationship that you want in your life in the next 6 months. It's incredible. But what I will say for now about masculine and feminine energy is that men do want to help. Men want to support. So you send a text like, hey, can you help me with blah, blah, blah? Can I get your opinion on blah, blah, blah? What do you think about blah, blah, blah? They're instantly going to want to reply. It's just that natural masculine energy of I want to help. So that's always a good one as well. And the masculine energy wants to be respected. So it also shows you respect him when you ask for his opinion on something. Funny. I'm always a big fan of sending funny text. I had a guy once, he asked me a question and I can't remember my reply to it, but then I asked him, well, how much does a polar bear weigh? And his reply was about 300 pounds. I was like, no, enough to break the ice. Needless to say, after a couple more texts, it didn't really go anywhere because he didn't have the same sense of humor as me. So I'm not saying you need to be a comedian, but these can be fun ways to liven it up because also if we're talking masculine, feminine energy, or even just men and women, men are looking for a woman who's not taking herself so serious, who can be playful and fun and flirtatious. So have a couple of like dad jokes or cheesy pickup lines in your disposal. Or share something funny that happened to you that day. Don't be so serious. So that is also a good one that I've seen have a great response to. Or ask him, what's your favorite pickup line? Tell me your favorite joke. But then you should probably have one in your pocket in response as well. So that can be another way. It makes you more different and unique rather than where are you from? What do you do? What do you like to do in your free time? Right? Have some fun with it. And then the last one, ladies, compliment him. Surprisingly, men don't get a lot of compliments. Like, period. So you've read his profile, you've looked through his pictures, send him a compliment. Hey, Marco, that green shirt looks incredibly sexy on you. Wow, you must be a strong hiker. Your legs look phenomenal. Like, yeah, you can be blunt and personal and direct with that. Wow, George, if you wore that shirt on our date, I would have to wipe the drool off my face. Like, you can be funny about it, but don't be afraid to offer compliments. And so many women, when they're interested in a man, they clam up and they're scared to be flirty, to be complimentary. Well, part of also what turns a man on is when he knows that you're interested. Otherwise, he's scared of rejection, so he might not pursue you, and then you might friend zone yourself. So compliment him. So if whether you're the first one reaching out into his inbox or he's reached out to you first, send compliments. Wow, that sounds so challenging. You must be an incredibly persistent individual. I don't think I would ever be able to do that. I'm incredibly proud of you. Like, I've said stuff like this. Of like, I applaud you. That's amazing. You're incredibly smart, dedicated, sexy, whatever it is. I mean, be authentic. I'm not saying to blow smoke up the guy's butt. Be authentic, but Be complimentary, because think about it. Dating is an application process where the majority of you are looking for lifelong love, which means a high quality man is going to be looking like, can I spend the rest of my life with this person? Well, what am I looking for? Someone who's not taking herself so damn seriously. Someone who's sweet and kind and caring and complimentary. Someone who stands up for herself, who knows how to express her needs and desires. And on and on and on and on. And so flirting or dating is the beginning stages of that, where you do get to show up as your best self, but all of yourselves. So not just the serious kick-ass career woman, but also the flirty, playful, fun-loving, doesn't take herself so serious woman. You get to be all sides of that. So these types of text and communication modalities can be a really good way for you to show that. I mean, you can have deep conversations, absolutely, but you can also have fun with it as well. Now, one thing I want to say to the men, like, there's nothing worse than getting the opening line from you of like, hey, sexy, you're beautiful. I've never responded to any of those texts. Because if that's your opening line, it's like, come on, I know I'm pretty, thank you. But if he starts with, wow, I'm incredibly impressed by your profile, I've gotten that actually quite a few times. I was like, what stood out to you? And then he tells me what stands out to me. And then he says something like, and you're incredibly beautiful. Then I'm like, oh, thank you. But if he just comes straight out of the gate and like, you're beautiful, you're sexy, you're gorgeous. No. So men, that doesn't work. It really doesn't. That's just doesn't. All right. So here's your homework, loves. No, let's do a quick recap what we got into today. The seven steps of exceptional communication. 1, the self-acceptance of who you are and what you desire. That is the foundation of healthy communication. You have to love yourself and believe in yourself. The 2 courses that I will drop in the links after are boundaries and love that help you with this. 2, what do you desire? What are you looking for? You have to know exactly what you want first before you could ever even communicate it with a guy. So if you don't really know what you want, he's not going to know what you want, which is going to result in you not getting what you want. 3, block or delete matches that aren't a fit. People you haven't talked to in a couple weeks. Stop texting your ex, your friends with benefit, men you know that are not a right fit. You got to cleanse your energetic space. 4, we went through some communication tactics for the F-boys or men who are moving faster than you're ready to. 5, no ghosting is allowed at any time. I repeat, no ghosting is allowed at any time except for the F-boys who slide into your DM, in which case you can block them and ghost them and delete them. 6, get to know them first via the app. Don't jump straight into a first date meeting. Have some conversation first. Have some text, voice messages, video messages before you decide to commit to meeting someone in person. And then 7, different attractive ways to text or stand out in the inbox that have you standing apart from other women that he might be dating. So your homework. You're going to clean up the dating apps that you are on. You're going to look at your profile. Is it sending the message, the clear message of who you are and what you want? Are the pictures a good representation of that, of all the different sides of you? You're going to clean out any communication with men you know are not a good fit. And you're going to let them know. Yeah, you're going to practice communicating in that way. You're going to practice speaking up about what you want before you go out on your next date. And so on the app, send some messages to some cute guys. Practice some of the tactics that I have taught you tonight so that you can practice exceptional communicating. You have to practice it before it becomes second nature. All of this stuff I had to learn and teach myself. It was incredibly scary in the beginning, but eventually you get to this point of a confident woman who knows who she is and knows what she wants and isn't scared to speak up about it, who is comfortable with being flirtatious, being funny, being silly, being playful. Like, it becomes natural over time, but in the beginning it's going to be awkward. So your homework is you're going to do everything that we talked about today, play around with some of those text openers, see what happens. Maybe some of them will land, maybe they won't. Who cares? Unattached energy. And then Friday, part 3, we're going to go through the common challenges of online dating, because I get it, there are challenges of online dating. And then on Sunday, we're going to have a live Q&A and coaching call. Rather than be here on YouTube, it's going to be in a private Zoom room. So as long as you have signed up for this dating series and you're on the mailing list, you will get the link for the Zoom room so that you can join us for the live Q&A coaching call on Sunday. If you haven't signed up, then you need to DM me or drop your email below this video to sign up. All right, so that's what I got, my loves. Enjoy doing your homework. Have fun with it. I believe in you. And no more ghosting. That's it. No more ghosting ever again. Sending you love.